Hi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. Just to kick things off, I was curious, how would you describe the show to those who haven't seen it yet? What can viewers expect?
To me anyway, I think viewers can expect to be taken down some paths that are dead ends. I think it's one of those shows where, certainly in my experience, I like to sit and watch and try and guess what's going to happen. And I think they'll be kind of taken back by what it actually is and what's actually going on.
Yeah, it's like a thriller-ish detective series. It sort of like centers around like sexual politics and, right from wrong as well. And yeah, like Archie said, it's just sort of, you think you know where it's going and then turns out it's going somewhere else.
Did you receive scripts right away and then audition for them? Or were you kind of going in a little bit more blindly when you heard of about the project first?
Maybe I got sent like the first two at first, and then the last two followed shortly after. But yeah, I love these kind of dramas, these thrillers. Anyway, I've been a big fan of watching them with my family and friends and girlfriend and stuff. So I was excited when this came up because everyone in my family said, "Oh, Arch, when are you gonna do something like this?" So yeah, when this one came through, I was excited, and yeah, I loved it.
I'm just curious at what stage, with these twists and turns, like at what stage do you, as people involved in the show, find out about them? Did you receive all the scripts before you signed on to the show?
For me, I don't know about like for you, Archie, but I taped for it, received like script 1 and 2, I think, or script 1, taped for it. And then when I went in to do an audition with Mary Ali, the director, I then received like drafts of the following episodes and then, piece it all together that way. Also, because when I was in the audition, they asked me to like improv a couple bits. So I riffed off of what I'd taken from the script. So yeah, I knew like the twists and turns after having sent it through that way. What about you, Archie?
Yeah, I was on holiday at the time actually, and I think I had the first two episodes come through, and then I wanted to I wanted to know the rest before I decided to kind of go through with it. So yeah, sometimes I think with these things, sometimes they can play their cards very close to their chest, but this time we got to see the full story.
And Ruby, did you have also auditions together with Jenna to see whether the dynamic worked on?
No, I didn't audition with Jenna. I think Jenna, was maybe on board from the get-go. And then, yeah, like I said, I just taped for it. And I think maybe when I was in the room, they could catch a vibe that we'd maybe slot well together. But I did meet Jenna prior to filming with her, like before we worked together on set, and we sort of built like the mother-daughter relationship that way. We sat down with Mary Ali, the director, and like went over our scenes and sort of a backstory as well, so that when we came to be on set, we had like a foundation to sort of stand on.
And Archie, you mentioned you watch these type of police procedurals. What is it that you think continues to interest people about them? Because it's like, I think, the most produced genre, I would almost say, of series.
I think we do have this kind of thing in us where we do kind of want to do the detective work ourselves, and we do want to try and be the ones to get it right. I think it's also why we love these documentaries, these like kind of true crime documentaries as well, because I think we love mystery, and we also, the way that these shows are kind of made, each episode kind of will end on like a bit of a cliffhanger to keep you coming back, and we're kind of addicted to this, to finding out who done it. So we're kind of set on this path. Yeah, we are. I do think we are kind of as humans, we just love mystery. We just love we want to know.
I like that the show also ties in with some of the newer progressions, I guess, with true crime podcasts. Do either of you listen to podcasts or even true crime podcasts?
Yeah, I definitely listen to podcasts. I can't think if I've like listened to a true crime one. I do. Do you?
I actually had to turn it off after I had to give myself a break from it because I couldn't sleep. I listened to.
Why I don't listen to them?
Yeah, it's one called Red Handed, podcast called Red Handed, and they do true crime. Sometimes they're not too horrific, but it's like it's the kind of home invasion ones which are really kind of terrifying and freaky. I had to turn it off because me and my girlfriend we couldn't sleep.
That's why I don't listen to them, because I feel like something lighthearted is nice. As soon as it starts going dark, I'm like double checking my door's locked.
The show also, I found, went down some rather dark alleys quite fast. What was it like on set? Like, is it, because I often you hear like the darker something like a film or show goes, the more lighthearted you try to keep it on set. Was that your experience as well? Were you trying to make things like, balance it out a bit on set, the mood?
I think certainly with Hitch's character is kind of light-hearted anyway for most of it, and he being this like rookie cop is just kind of eager to please. So I didn't really feel too much of it. I could pretty much having I think all of my scenes being with Jenna, I could tell when sometimes her character was feeling it a bit, to kind of, okay, the mood on set needs to change now. If someone needs to get, just a bit of an emotional beat, then the mood set does kind of change, and all the actors kind of, I think actors can kind of recognise when someone needs to kind of get somewhere. Certainly there's a scene in the pub, which I remember everyone being very respectful and kind of could see Jenna had to get to a place to be able to perform. Ruby, yeah, you probably had some more serious scenes.
Yeah, no, I totally echo what you're saying. It's like, yeah, me and like most of my scenes were shared with Jenna, and then we had good like rapport, like a banter back and forth. But obviously, like as actors, like you bounce off each other's vibes, and if one person needs more space and more time to get into a headspace, like naturally you just read it and sort of give someone the time and the moment to do so.
Yeah, I try to anyway. Sometimes I can completely misread the situation and start thinking around and get told to shut up. So yeah.
Same. I'm a serial waffler. I'm always waffling. I'm like, oh shit, wait, oh you need it. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Were any particular challenges that you felt on the show?
The weather was a challenge. I guess trying to playing a cop, and believe it or not, I've had no experience in being a detective. So I guess trying to keep that truthful and as truthful as it can be and as natural as it can be, whilst also being engaging and entertaining and helping tell the story. Because police always say that there's a lot of whenever they watch cops in TV shows, they're like, oh, that's not really how it is. There's so much paperwork that goes with this job, and it's nowhere near as much kind of on the field and doing the detective work. Obviously, if we were to do a show like that, I don't think many people would watch a load of cops doing paperwork. So that was the kind of challenge for me.
The weather, I mean, that's a funny thing to say, but it was quite like, I don't know, I think we must have just caught like the rainiest, windiest season. I mean, I remember we stopped filming a couple of times, like we cut days short, which was, I mean, yeah, I mean, everyone dealt with it, but just for me, I mean, me and Jenna had a really good rapport and a relationship. So it sort of, our relationship came quite easy, and that was a lot of the stuff that I sort of shared.
What I really like about the Jetty is that it does, even Jenna being quite a young person, but representing a different generation. But I like that there's different viewpoints on how, discussions work now upon how you call it earlier, sexual ethics, I think, or sexual politics. I found that so refreshing to actually see it discussed and see it textualized, that sometimes it does take people viewing it through different eyes to make you realize something went wrong, but you might not necessarily have thought of it yourself that way. So I was curious whether that was also something that drew you to this project.
Yeah, I think Kat's writing is like incredibly nuanced and layered. I mean, that was something that upon first reading it, I was struck by. And like you say, although it is led from Ember's viewpoint, you have everybody else's insight as well, which I think, sometimes you don't always get, but that was something I definitely thought was, exciting and made it different. And yeah, I mean, just to praise Kat's writing, it's just brilliant and very conversational.
Yeah, it's very thought provoking. Also, I really enjoyed, I mean, how our brain can kind of misremember things in order to protect us a little bit and protect us from trauma and stuff. And I think the way that Kat's written this into the show is also like really, very, very powerful, and something that I think a lot of people will be able to relate to in terms of how you know, maybe things didn't quite happen the way that we remember them, and maybe this is the reason why that I've misremembered it. You know, our brains will do amazing things, to kind of protect ourselves.
Did you have a premiere for the series at all? Did you watch it together, or did you watch the all of the episodes?
We had like a screening and a Q&A, which they showed the first episode.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't able to make that one, but yeah, I have seen it. I've seen all the episodes.
Was there anything that surprised you that was different when you saw it versus when making it?
I think I mean, whilst we were working on it, Ben Wheeler, the DOP, was, you know, very active and sort of like showing the shots and showing, what's the name? Rushes. I couldn't think of the word. Like showing the rushes and sort of things of how it looks. So it looked, I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous the way it's shot, and obviously the way the story's told. You know, I obviously reread the scripts and broken it down. I think I knew everything that was coming, but obviously when you spend time away from a project and you come back to it, when you watch it again, you are reminded of the things and go, oh God, I forgot that happened, or oh God, yeah, like it goes that way rather than that way. But I can't say I was like, yeah, that's sort of.
It was also, I was kind of shocked. I mean, we did kind of know it was very scenic and beautiful when we were there. Some of those like aerial shots that they got and stuff at the beginning of episodes kind of give us a much better view. And also, I know we keep talking about the weather, but it was very wet and pretty miserable a lot of the time. And this kind of place, it sort of had its own like microclimate. But the scenery and stuff was beautiful. Like those establishing shots. I think we used like drones and stuff over the lake and stuff. It was that kind of shocked me at how kind of beautiful it was.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.